how's it going, guys? And welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. What is this? A third Katawa Shoujo in a day? It may not be this third time for you today, but it is for me. I already did two. I usually just do 2 recordings, but I felt like I should just move on. I don't know. I'm kinda into it right now, so keep on playing! So this is my 3rd recording of Katawa Shoujo today. May not be for you, but it is for me. Return. Would you like to join us? There's blah blah blah. And that's right, Lily and Yugard were discussing a pile of books when I first met Hanako. Something about Lily helping with the braille. Ah, yes, we didn't get the chance to get through them, did we? Yuko hastily sits down next to Hanako. Apparently her dedication to this job only goes as far as her concentration. When this is broken, she just suddenly loses it. I'll be in the library tomorrow afternoon if you'd like to try again. That sounds perfect. I'll meet you there after classes. Lily? Oh dear, that's right. Tomorrow is Monday. How could I have forgotten? I'm starting to feel a little left out of the loop here. Then again, that's to be expected. I've been here for barely a week, so it's impossible to know everyone's schedule. Well, perhaps we could do some other arrangement. Yuko, will you be in the library later in the week? Maybe, but this is already overdue. And there are some things I need. This might be a problem. Lily ponders for a second before discovering the answer. I wonder who would be able to enlist the help of another, if need be. To do what? You lost me quite some time ago. Being volunteer for something without even having the slightest idea what is going on isn't really my thing. And here I thought I had finally escaped the clutches of the student council, their repeated attempts to recruit me. Oh, of course, the other day I was helping Yuko sort the new Braille books in the library. But Hanako and I usually go shopping on Monday afternoons. It's quieter on the day than on weekends. Last week we couldn't go because I was busy with the festival. I managed to slip away later in the week, but Hanako couldn't make it. Well, that explains why she would... the encounter... Well, since I can't read Braille, I'm assuming you'd like me to go shopping with Hanako. Correct. You were a great help to me the other day. I think I can handle that. Hanako, what do you think? If you wouldn't mind. Of course not. I'm still not familiar with all the stores in the area, so it sounds like a good idea. Okay. Now that we have that arranged, shall we have some tea? Now that I realize our tea has been sitting idly by all this time, getting no hotter. It's my fault. I will pour that for you. Yuko reaches out with shaking hands, but I intercept her. She looks like she looks in no state to be handling hot liquids. It's alright, I got it. Since you already made the tea and sandwiches, you fulfilled your waitress duties, right? I guess. Yuko relaxes a little, but still watches eagerly as I share out an assortment. As I'm about to bite into the sandwich, a loud rumble can be heard, along with a flash of light from outside. Ah, I take it the show has started. Only now looking outside, I realize that dusk has come and gone, leaving us at the peak of twilight. Sparking traces arc across the floor shapes and fireworks. Let's go watch! Oh, sorry Lily. Please, don't miss the show on my account. From what I heard, this is not a bad location to watch them from. Oh, look at that! Look at that show image! Fireworks! Fireworks from the tea house. That's a thumbnail right there. Return. With the exception of Lily, who rushed to the window of the small tea house to watch the show. The strobe-colored light plays across Hanako and Yuko's smiling faces, and for a second I forgot to look out the window. In this totally new world, there are a few things that don't change. I think that's why the school makes such a fuss over this festival. It's a chance to show the similarities between everyone. The show is over all too quickly. Fireworks are expensive, even for the most well-funded schools. And that is no lie. Fireworks are expensive. You lose a lot of money on New Year's Eve. We fire fireworks. I know America doesn't do it on New Year's. You kind of do it on the 4th of July or some month, but on New Year's we fire fireworks. New Year's Eve, that is. When the New Year is there, we fire fireworks like mad, and the fireworks are expensive, yes. So I tend to just buy batteries because there are lots of shots in those, and they're pretty. Before we return to our tea and sandwiches, Hanako turns to me. Thanks for the today, and tomorrow. That's okay. I don't think that I could have faced those crowds either. On days like this, it's more relaxing to spend some time away from everyone. Don't you think? Yeah. Oh, her smile is so cute. Her smile, man! Anyway, we've been delaying this tea for far too long now. Let's get back. Sure. We returned to the booth in our light meal. That sounded impressive. Bigger than last year's, at least. Yeah, it was great. I've never seen them put on such a show. It gets better every year. I'm afraid, however, that during that time the tea has gone cold. Oh no! Let me make some more. This is my fault. Calm down, Yuko. It's nobody's fault. I take a sip from my cup just to prove the point. This tea isn't too bad cool. Anyway, it's like an iced tea. Really? Lukewarm is not iced tea. Yes, really. If you add a bit of sugar, it's kinda nice. Are you sure? I'm positive. Now, why don't you sit down and we'll finish this together? Okay. Yuka doesn't seem convinced, but sits down regardless. She carefully measures out about the 5 teaspoons of sugar and adds them to her tea. I said a bit of sugar. I know, but I like my tea sweet anyway. Curiously, I peer into her cup. As expected, hardly any of the sugar dissolves into the cool liquid. She stirs it twice before upturning the cup and drinking its contents, sugar and all in a single mouthful. You're right. That's not bad at all. They're good. I look back to Lily and Hanako, both of them who have finished their meal, and I witnessed Yuko's personality in action. Not wanting to hold anyone up, I use her tactic and finish the remainder of my tea in a single swallow. Well then, it seems we're all finished. Should we head back now, or do we want seconds? Yuko's expression shows that this is quite clearly not a good idea. I think that it would be the best if we got back soon. We do have to get back before curfew after all. Oh, that is a good point. I'll meet you tomorrow, Yuko. I'll be looking forward to it, Lily. Goodbye, everyone. We make our way out of the small tea house and into the dark of the night. Lily and Hanako once again take point, but under the cover of darkness, Hanako seems slightly less stressed than she did on the trip here. We move against an occasional group of people emptying the school grounds, but Hanako seems to lead us along a few minor roads, avoiding the bulk of the crowd. Outside the dorms, the school seems strangely quiet when compared to the noise of the day. Well then, thank you both for the day. I think I learned a lot. You're most welcome, but I'm afraid that I really must be going. Today's been a long day. That's right, Lily spent all of her day on her feet. I can imagine that walking outside the school would be pretty tiring for her. I feel a pang of guilt as I remember that I was probably the only one in the school that got up about 10 this morning. Sure thing. Well, I'll see you both tomorrow. Good night. Good night, Isao. Night. The girls return to their dorm, and I to mine. Actually, now that I consider it, today tired me out as well. Well, I wasn't so tired unless I was thinking about it. Oh, what's this? A flash to the past? Oh, Hanako's past. Whoa. Yo! Oni? She's reading the book of Onis. Hey look, I got a book too. Come on. I'll just sit next to you and read it, no problem. Hide and seek. Okay, it's safe to assume I'm on Hanako's path. That was a nice video there, actually. I think it was quite nice. It's really nice, actually. Why am I praising it so much? I like it. My alarm blares into my ears, only to be swiftly silenced by my fist. So since it's pretty sure that I'm on Hanako's path, so I'm requesting Hanako fan art here, whatever you decide what it should be, how it should be. Use your imagination. Just like it fits here in the corner. I would scale it if it doesn't fit. Don't worry about that. And that's kind of it. I'm not ending it here because I realized I only did this recording for like 10 minutes. But I will continue. I'm just saying. My body switches into auto mode, carrying my subconscious self out of the bed and into my uniform. As always, my bottle of pills sit on my desk, patiently waiting for me to take them and pick out my daily dosage of medicine. 17 pills a day. Before I know it, I'm opening the door to class 33. Glad to see that I'm not the only one who seems to be a little hungover from the festival week. Did I read that wrong or just made something? Oh, okay. Every face in the classroom looks gaunt. And with the festival now over, it's as if everyone's life's dream have been achieved. With nothing left to live for, the students have relied on instincts alone to guide them to class. Or maybe I'm just reading too much into it. I slowly make my way to my seat, and it's only then that I realized why the room is so peaceful. The seat beside mine is blissfully empty. The world's loudest interpreter for the deaf has yet to arrive. BAM! And there she is. Just as I'm about to sit down, the door flies open, revealing the resplendent Misha. Drills bobbing from the dramatic entrance, and arms stretched towards the sky. Yahoo! It's all over! It would appear that not everyone is affected by the post-festival depression. The rest of the class glare at her, obviously thinking the same thing that I am. Misha is still frozen in the doorway with her arms still in the air, nervously looks around. It's obvious that she senses the foul mood, but can't work out exactly what to do. Suddenly, she jerks forward. Hey! As she stumbles into the classroom, she reveals Shiznit, arms still extended from where she shoved Misha. ... Thanks for the entertainment, but shouldn't you two take your seats? Still slightly embarrassed, Misha takes a few seconds to realize she has to translate. Oh yeah, Shichan! Oh yeah, Shichan says she's not happy with you ditching us last week. We were really busy. Is that so? What about the stuff I already did for you two? She says that only counts for council members. Since you decline, she doesn't owe you anything. Misha leans close and whispers conspiratorially into my ear. Actually, I think she's just a little sore that you didn't spend the day with her. She's really thank you for your work last week, though. Sensing that she's being talked about, she lightly grabs her fingers on her desk until Misha turns around to face her. I can't understand any of the fast-paced signing that is going on, but from Shina's slightly embarrassed expression and Misha's poorly contained laughter, I can guess. While this exchange is happening, the door opens once again, and this time at a much more reasonable pace. Hanako quietly enters the room and pulls the door closed behind her. Peering out from under her hair, she quickly scans the classroom. Our eyes meet, and she suddenly stiffens. She closes her eyes, takes a deep breath, and then walks over to my desk. Good morning, Hisao. Good morning, Hanako. You're a little late, aren't you? I was talking to Lily about today. Ah, so you got her list then. We can leave straight after classes in that case. Sure. I'm looking forward to it. Hanako briefly flashes her embarrassed smile at me and then hurries off to her seat. During classes, it becomes apparent that it's not only the students that are a little despondent after the festival. Moto simply gives us a list of exercises from the textbooks and then sits behind his desk. I totally forgot about that brief lunch period for a moment, such is a banality of the day. It's mind-numbing, and everyone seems surprised when the bells ring at the end of the lessons. As I'm packing up my bags, Misha flanks and entraps me. Hey, Sei-chan, it's still not too late to join up. There's a lot of post-festival paperwork for us to complete. Sorry, Misha, I've got plans. As I sensing the cue, Hanako appears. As if sensing the cue, Hanako appears behind me, holding a small bag and trying to avoid eye contact with the outside world. Misha's eyes open wide, and then she bursts into laughter. Bah! You move fast, don't you, Hichan? We won't disturb your date any further. Bah! Behind the roaring Misha, I see Susan taking far too little interest in the scene. I might be taking this the wrong way, but I think she's deliberately ignoring us. I feel a gentle tug in my shirt to turn to see Hanako's eyes fixed firmly on the floor. Let's... Gotcha! Shizu, Misha, I'll see you later. And I'm still not interested in the council. Spoil sport. I'm guessing if I have to follow Misha or Shizune's path, I have to join the council? Misha and Shizune retreat into the hallway, happily singing to each other. How can... sing? To each other? In sign language? How do you do that? Got all your stuff? Let's head off. Floods of students pour out the school gates and onto the road into town. It's a little weird. It's almost a scene from any other high school, but the illusion fades because of the occasional wheelchair or missing limb. One thing I do notice is that nobody is alone. And as Hanako and I pass through the gates, I notice that she closes the distance between us. Not enough to be considered close, but she certainly isn't at her usual, just a little far precision. I guess we're not familiar enough for her to get as close as she does with Lily. However, even though she has moved a little closer to me physically, mentally she seems to have traveled a mile. Her hands clutched around her leather straps of her bag to the point of whitening her knuckles. Her head down and her mouth pursed closed. She almost looked like she's being walked to the principal's office for the first time. I tried to stifle a giggle at the thought, but it's futile. What's the matter? I guess there's no point in hiding it. Sorry, for a second there it looked like you were getting in trouble. What do you mean? I think you need to relax a little. We're not going too far, and it's only students around, right? Right. It bothers me a little to see Hanako so worked up. And you do this every week, don't you? Yes, with Lily. Of course, with Lily. I wonder, has she ever left the school without her? It doesn't seem like much at first glance, but Hanako's dependence on Lily is absurdly heavy. If she can't even handle leaving the school without her, how would she have managed to survive if the two have never met? Would she have found someone else to latch onto? And what drew her to Lily? Was it a lack of eyesight, or was Lily just kind enough to lend a hand? I wonder if anyone would have fit the bill. Well, I'm here. Besides, we're not going far. It'll be over before you know it. Hanako's knuckles slowly regain their color as she tries to hide a small smile. But the effort of that seems to prevent further conversation. We travel side by side down the winding road towards the town. The crowd of students thins as we continue along the sidewalk. Faster students rush ahead, and the less mobile ones fall behind, rarefying the crowd into nothingness. 7-Eleven! Well, it's Auramart. By the time you reach the convenience store, we are practically alone. Using me as a shield between herself and the attendant, Hanako moves through the narrow aisle, adding an assortment of items to her basket. Bread, milk, tea, thyme? What kind of convenience store sells herbs? Then again, nothing about this town seems normal, which may not be a bad thing in retrospect. Everything is so different and uncomfortable. Traveling on such measures isn't really an option. When I think about it, it reminds me of Hanako. No matter how much you try, you can't escape her scars. They still interrupt my train of thought when I see them. As much as I don't want to admit it to myself, I think I'm forcing myself to try to ignore them. Not that I'm unscarred for myself, the jagged line down my sternum will never completely fade away. I just have the luxury of being able to hide it easily. But in a way, both of our scars remind me that we're all in the place for a reason. Hanako throws one last item into her basket and sheepishly holds it out to me, along with a few banknotes. Could you please? It takes me a second to understand what she's trying to say. Oh, you want me to pay for this? She nods. But doesn't look up. I guess this task falls to Lily on the usual occasion. Sure, let me grab a couple of things. Hastily, I grab a few essentials myself. essential items for myself and head for the counter with Hanako in close tow. The attendant gives me an indifferent nod as he scans in the items. I suppose just ignoring us is one way to deal with the anomalies of Yamaku. They must get a lot of students here, being the closest store to the school. The staff must all have their own way of dealing with us, or maybe they don't. Maybe it's just me who thinks twice about my unique schoolmates. Our transaction complete. Hanako and I head back into the street. Onto the street. Why do I keep saying into? And it clearly says onto! The road is pretty much abandoned now. The students that were heading out have already left, and nobody has started returning just yet. And with the only school ahead on the road, there doesn't seem to be anyone else around. The emptiness certainly reflects on Hanako. Her aunts are by her side, each carrying a bag, her head no longer bowed and back to the upright position. It's almost as if she was enjoying this walk. So, why all these weird things? Mixed spice? Why would you need that in school? I sometimes like to make food. Well, yeah, so do I, but spices? That's a little more advanced, don't you think? Not really. Well, I think it's cool. You'll have to teach me one day. Sure. She doesn't seem all that sure, but pushing to the point doesn't seem all that wise. At the very least, she seems a great deal happier than she did on the walk down here. That alone makes me a little happier. Outside the girls' dorm, Hanako and I sort up the grocery bags with our respective purchases. In comparison, my things look positively plain. I tell you, you're putting me to shame here. No, I'm not. I'm only joking. I have a stack of homework that I skipped last week, so I must leave now. Will you be alright getting that to your room? Yeah, sure? Okay, then I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. We part ways, and I return to my room. Piles of papers sit upon my desk, begging to be completed. With the entire ruckus of the last week, I have barely had any time to catch up. I tried to I tried to keep up with my studies while I was in the hospital, but some of this stuff I've never seen before, even back in my old school. Totally unprepared, I pop up the top of the can of a drink and get to work. They are really starting to heat up, and so we're gonna save the game right here. Hope you enjoyed. And I'm still requesting fan art to fill up this empty space down here. I'm gonna leave you guys with a high five. In the entrance, politely obeying the police break to be seated inside. Is this place closed or something? Whoa! The sound of a chair falling over and echoes throughout the empty room, and we hear a shoot something from inside the booth. Go.